Sia's Chandelier, and there's still folks out there that are doing their renditions on YouTube of that song, and I have just not understood it.
Have you seen mine? It's awesome.
Did you really do?
No, I did not.
That's why it was awesome.
Yeah.
Mike Barrett in Good Policies with Barrett Insurance Agency. Hey, summer is in full swing.
Loving it. Loving it.
Isn't it just awesome?
This is fantastic. This is what we've been waiting for. So,
Actually, somebody even posted up on Facebook. No complaints after the long winter we had if it's hot and humid.
well, this is the thing, is that you're having a good stretch of summer when your Facebook feed is plastered with people putting memes up saying the first person to complain about the heat gets a boot to the head.
That's right.
So that's when you know the weather's good.
And if the kids complain, they get put into timeout.
Yeah.
Okay, summer insurance needs. We've talked about, I guess you call them second properties. We've talked about campers. We've talked about motorhomes. We've talked about summer sports vehicles, toys, and such.
Yes, sir.
Where do you want to go this morning?
You actually just threw a thought in my head. So what else happens in the summer? You swim. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people have pools.
Oh, see, now we've had two local stories here recently where young children have wandered into the pools and unfortunately they drowned.
Yeah.
There's some big nationwide stories, celebrities having the same thing happen. This is a good topic.
It's and it's very, very important to think about this. And it's funny because my sister-in-law is an insurance underwriter for a company out in Cincinnati, Ohio, and she came for a quick visit last week, and we went for a cruise up to Hill Farmstead to get her some local Vermont beer. And as we were driving, we were both looking at things with insurance heads, and we hate it. Because we have that mentality, because we see it. We see the reality of how things can happen if you're not prepared, if you're not thinking ahead.
Dawn does that to me all the time because she's insurance too.
That's why I want to get a business card that says Mike Barrett, the killer of fun, because that is what I am now.
But no, there is responsibility.
There's responsibility. And one of the things that I've had, and it's interesting, I've had many people over the years really get mad at me about this. And I get it. Nobody wants to be told what to do with their property. I totally understand that. But when you are taking a risk and transferring your financial risk to another party, i.e. the insurance company, you're darn right they're going to have some level of say about things. Because now you're saying, look, if somebody, does perish in my pool, I'm liable, but I've transferred my liability through contract to this company that's now going to be paying whatever the need is up to my limit of coverage. So you're talking, you could have a $500,000 liability payout because you failed in some way or shape or form to properly secure your pool. And that could be a real problem. So that's why companies have something to say about it. So let's talk about it. So an in-ground pool. Go ahead.
May I? Okay, no, that's perfect. You start right out. In-ground pools. We've got above-ground pools.
Yeah.
Not just pools, okay? Other outdoor fun summer stuff. Trampolines.
Oh, gosh. Don't.
Okay. Playhouses. Tree houses.
Interestingly enough, some companies do take issue with that, too. So when you have an in-ground pool, many companies now want to make sure you have a fully enclosed area that has a self-closing latching gates.
Right.
So that you can prevent access. That doesn't mean nobody can ever get in, because when I was in North Carolina with all of my in-laws a month ago, all the nieces and nephews could reach over the fence and unlock and go in. But they were old enough and tall enough to do that. And they're very capable swimmers, so it wasn't not necessarily a big deal. But it prevented my son from being able to do that.
Right.
And my son's not ready to be a capable by himself swimmer by far. So it's great to have that. So we are ensuring that we're mitigating the possibility of that loss. So that's why companies with in-ground pools really, that's a big step. And regardless of whether you think your company wants it or not, I'm pretty sure they do. Because a lot of times what companies don't know, they can't talk about. So if they don't know you have a pool type of thing, I like to throw that out often. But if you have a slide, some companies don't like slides.
Diving board.
Some companies don't like diving boards. I mean, I remember going to my uncle's house and jumping off the patio roof because he didn't have a diving board, Yeah. That was before I was the killer of fun, Jeff. That was when I was just having a good time.
Yeah.
But things happen. And so you have to always be thinking about that. Above ground pools, companies really want to see locking gates that prevent unauthorized access for when the pool's not in use. I've seen videos online of toddlers climbing up the locking ladders.
I was going to say, because you'll see the ladders will be flipped up and they're latched with like a hinge pin or something like that. But somehow the kid finds a way to get in.
Yeah, I mean, where there's a will, there's a way. But if you're doing the proper steps necessary to mitigate the possibility of loss, That's all companies can ask. They can't ask you to guarantee it won't happen. They can ask you to try to prevent it from happening. So that's why the pool issue can be big. And we're talking above ground pools. We're not talking just the permanently installed. We're talking I went to Walmart, or I went to Dick's Sporting Goods, or I went to Amazon, or I went to, I don't know if Wheeler sells them, or I don't know if the True Value sells them, but above ground pools of any kind. If it's 4 feet deep, heck, if it's 2 feet deep, obviously the little baby pools, you can't prevent unauthorized access, but a pool that's going to be there for the season is something companies will have a say about. And with trampolines, it really varies company to company on acceptability. I've got some companies that adamantly say, and when they say it doesn't mean they're not going to cover if a loss occurs. They're saying if you have one, we don't want to insure you anymore, or we don't want to write your insurance to begin with.
Right.
So I've got companies that say that. So example being, let's say that I wrote you with one of those companies, you put a trampoline in, they discover you have one. At your next policy renewal, they're going to send you a legal notice at least 45 days in advance saying, look, you just don't comply with what we feel are proper underwriting guidelines, so we just can't be with you anymore. We can't insure you. That's not to say you won't find insurance. You certainly will. There are companies out there that will accept all trampolines. There are companies out there that will accept trampolines with netting. And there's my favorite, companies that say, have what you want. We're going to exclude it anyway. So, and that's the scary proposition, Jeff, is something is so good that you are willing to have it even if a company excludes it. Think about the ramifications that could come from that.
Well, this all goes back, as we get ready to wrap things up here, this all goes back to having the conversation. If you've made changes, whether it's a pool, whether it's a trampoline, it doesn't matter. Any changes to the coverage that you had previously,
right?
Contact your agent.
Always have a dialogue. That's what we're there for. We're not there twiddling our thumbs just waiting. We want to talk to you. We want to always help you out and be looking for possibilities to best protect you.
In the words of my friend Mike Barrett, the worst time to find out is when you suffer a loss.
Yeah.
Tell them how to get in touch with you.
748-5224. Visit us on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury. Online, thebarrettagency.com. Google, Facebook, and YouTube, all Barrett Insurance Agency.
All right, Mike. Thanks a lot. You stay cool out there today, okay?
Absolutely. You too?
No metal-handled umbrellas.
No. I can't wait for 4 feet of snow again. No metal-handled umbrellas.
Lightning later on.
Oh, okay.
All right. So there's good policies. We're Magic in the Morning with music from Chris.